I'm a retired civil servant and a mentor for and mentoring aspirants for the civil services from 2011, from the time I took voluntary retirement from the state civil services. I was in the RTI for 5 years. I functioned as the secretary. So, since my passion was to inspire people taking the civil service, I took upon the task of mentoring as a full time and took voluntary retirement in 2011. From then, I have been guiding number of students appearing for the civil services, and many of my students have been selected in the All India services as well as in the central services. See, today we do a topic on Gen Studies Paper 2 Polity. As I said earlier, Gen Studies Paper 2 Polity Paper 2 consists of 3 units: Polity, Governance and International Relations. The trend is more and more questions are coming on the governance part of the constitution of the polity, and international relations standard 50 to 60 marks. Polity, it is not enough that if you know only the static part of polity, you don't get straightforward questions on the polity part. There are also dynamic issues concerning polity. Let's see the topic we have selected for today's discussion: the role of the speaker in the present setup. It's a very important issue which has gotten the attention of the Supreme Court also. The Supreme Court has cast several observations on the functioning of the speaker and called for remedial measures. So before we go into the main discussion on this particular topic, read the question for 150 words. India's electoral system and political conventions shadow the office of the speaker. We know the institution of speakers modeled on the British system, because the parliamentary system is one which we inherited from the British. So the question says, electoral system and political conventions shadow the office of the speaker. Okay. Do you agree that a major revamp in the institution of the speaker is necessary? So first we start with a general discussion on the speaker. So this will not take much part of the answer. It will take about 2-3 lines. Now the speaker represents the dignity of the house. See, the first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru observed that the speaker represents the dignity of the house. He represents the nation and as a symbol of the nation's freedom. Now if you see the extensive powers conferred on the institution of the speaker, like regulatory functions, he regulates the conduct of business, he appoints the chairman of various committees, then he has got administrative powers, he has got judicial powers. Special powers are conferred on him by virtue of the 10th schedule. His decision is final and he represents the collective wisdom of the house. So much for an introduction. See, you may have read so much about the speaker from D.D. Basu or any other standard book on polity, but this is the only thing which you can fit in for the answer, because 150 words, the question the examiner is asking is, do you agree that a major revamp is necessary? Whether there should be any structural changes attached to the office of the speaker. Now we discuss why the office of the speaker requires a revamp. What is the problem with the existing system? See, the first thing would be there is an allegation of bias. See, the present system, the speaker is sponsored by the ruling party, and there could be occasions when the speaker will act in favor of the ruling party, though he's supposed to be impartial. See, this allegation of bias cannot be ruled out completely. The speaker is, like what shall I say, the speaker is his speaker's election is due to the ruling party and he owes the chair to the ruling party. So the allegation of bias is there. Then you see the manner of election. See, manner of election just after the new house comes. It is not that the speaker's election is unanimous. See, now with the emergence of the regional parties, with the emergence of a fragmented opposition, each one wants his own candidate to be sponsored. So it is not that, of course, the ruling party wins. I'm sorry, the ruling party at the end of the day, it has its voice. It can carry forward anything. So the manner of election is a thing, is a factor which has to be considered. So this is one reason why we say that the office of the speaker needs a revamp, because allegations of bias, manner of election, it is not unanimous. Then the personality of the occupant. See, if we have a strong speaker, like say Meera Kumar was there, she carried the house along, she could strike a chord with the opposition. I mean, so the occupant of the chair plays a dominant role. But how, in many cases, how far is the speaker able to carry the house along with him? So personality of the occupant is another factor. Then what we suggest is the speaker, once he is elected, once he occupies the chair, there is a need to renounce all political affiliations, membership, and activity. It should not be seen that he is an agent or spokesman of the political party, of the ruling political party. You see the pattern prevailing in UK. See, once the speaker is elected in the British Parliament, he gives up the partisan affiliation. Then he does not give any political views during debates. Then impartiality, fairness, and autonomy in decision making are the primary characteristics of the speaker in the British Parliament. So these are the 5 reasons why we say that the office of the speaker needs a revamp. I mean, what structural changes are required? Now, the office of the speaker was recently in the news when the Supreme Court observed the horse trading in the Manipur Assembly and the open stand taken by the speaker in favor of the government. So the Supreme Court, when it heard the speaker, his decision disqualifying the legislators under the 10th schedule, the Supreme Court wondered, why should the speaker be given quasi-judicial authority? See, when he is openly partisan, when he is openly loyal to the ruling party, how can he discharge his duties impartially? So the Supreme Court called for an independent authority. Say, it suggested, why don't you have a permanent tribunal? See, the permanent tribunal could be under the retired Chief Justice of the Supreme Court or retired Chief Justice of the High Court. You have a tribunal which will go into all issues relating to the disqualification matters under the 10th schedule. So this is one issue which the Supreme Court has pointed out, and now what we suggest is, see, there should be a parliamentary debate on the ruling of the Supreme Court. Parliament, the legislature has to take a decision on whether changes are required or whether the speaker's authority under the 10th schedule should be substituted, should be given to some other impartial, independent authority. there's a need for a debate on this. So this particular question which we have discussed for 150 words, in the beginning we spoke of the role of the speaker, how he plays a dominant role in the constitution, how he has been given multifarious roles, and how he represents the collective wisdom of the house. He represents the nation, as Jawaharlal Nehru pointed out. Then we came to the main question, why there should be a revamp in the office. Obviously, going by the present situation, going by the manner of election, how the speaker is beholden to the party which has sponsored him, and you see the allegation of bias coming in due to the present manner of election, and the personality of the occupant, how far the speaker is able to carry all sections of the house with him. Then we also suggested the need to renounce political affiliations. These are the 4 points why we stressed on the need for a revamp of the office of the speaker. Finally, we said why the system prevailing in Britain, why that should be adopted. That is how the speaker is impartial, and how there is impartiality in decision making, how the UK model will be a befitting model to be adopted in its totality. Then we spoke of how the institution of speaker has come under judicial scrutiny in the background of the Manipur disqualification of legislators by the speaker, and how the Supreme Court noted the pro-government stand of the speaker, his open stand, his open supporting the government. So the Supreme Court wondered whether can we not have an independent tribunal headed by, say, the retired Chief Justice of India or retired Chief Justice of the High Court, to decide under matters under the 10th schedule. So in the wake of the directions in the ruling of the Supreme Court, the legislature will have to take a call on whether the powers of the speaker under the 10th schedule, considering his manner of election, considering the inherent bias, whether this system can be replaced by an independent authority, so that the element of bias is removed altogether. So this is how you would answer a question on the dynamic part of questions relating to polity. See, in the main exam, as I told you earlier, you will have to write 20 questions, and my suggestion would be attempt all the questions, plan your answer, and don't go by what a topper said, what somebody else said. See, each individual is unique to himself or to herself. There's no set parameter, there's no set standard. What you have to do, your way of preparation, your planning, writing large number of tests, going through the writing practice, take it seriously, because it's not that you just go sit in the examination and you'll be able to answer all the 20 questions. No, it is not like that. General studies, 1000 marks, 250 into 4. Each paper 20 questions. Now the 20 questions requires planning. As I told you, you will not be able to spend more than 9 minutes per question. So my suggestion is going through the structured discussions on writing practice will help you and place you on a better pedestal than the others. Thank you.